Tragedy and chaos put a stop to the Gumball 3000. I'm Ji Young-min, and that's today on FastLaneDaily. Tragic events have put a stop to the Gumball 3000 and ended the life of a Macedonian driver. On May 2nd, Gumball 3000 driver Nick Morley allegedly crossed his Porsche over the center line of a public road in Macedonia and collided with a Volkswagen Golf, driven by Vladimir Chepelyaski and his wife Margarita. Vladimir was killed in the accident and his wife critically injured. It is reported that Morley and his co-driver Matthew McConville then fled the accident scene in another vehicle. FastLaneDaily has learned of an alternate report that Morley and McConville remained at the scene until paramedics arrived, though it's confirmed they did leave before local authorities got there. Both Morley and McConville were apprehended soon after the accident at the Albanian border and are now being held for 30 days pending court appearance and sentencing. Margarita Chepelyaski remains hospitalized and is in critical condition. After the accident, Gumball 3000 organizers attempted to keep the world and even other Gumball racers in an information blackout, but blogs, forums, and other major news organizations were already reporting on the tragedy and actions of Morley and McConville. Upon learning of the tragedy, Alex Roy and other Gumball drivers announced they were withdrawing from the race. Gumball organizers at first closed down their forum, then published a vaguely worded press release concerning the accident. This initial press release was followed later yesterday by a formal cancellation of the event. Gumball 3000 founder Maximilian Cooper is expected to hold a press conference and speech at noon today. Got a story for FastLaneDaily? Give us a call at 213-291-1883 or tips@fastlanedaily.com. And don't forget to subscribe to FastLaneDaily on your favorite internet video provider. How much wood could a wood George if a wood George could George would? Wait, that doesn't sound right. Sorry, Chuck Mallet. Those of you who didn't notice, we called him George yesterday. Now let's see what the blogosphere has to say about the tragedy surrounding Gumball 3000. Here's Gene and Andres.
I'm Andres.
I'm Gene.
And we're going to talk to you about the Gumball 3000. Jalopnik has had the best coverage so far. And we're going to sort of reference posters that have been making some really good posts on Jalopnik.
Excellent posts.
Yeah, excellent posts. And a few other forums. Originally, when the news first hit, people were really angry that the press release didn't cover all the different stories that have been coming out the last couple days. Caffeine CA says that there was no mention of the Russian team, no mention of the hit and run. The next day, people were saying, has this happened before in Gumball? Have there been any big wrecks? A couple years ago, there was a Turkenstein Viper that crashed, and Akir on Jalopnik brought this up, and it's a really good point. No one was hurt, so there are no repercussions. So what does this mean for the future of the Gumball? Right now, we got people like DTM Racer X saying that there's so much money that Gumballers throw around, why don't they just close off some of the public roads? I mean, is that even feasible?
I absolutely do not think it's remotely feasible. No matter how much money at least roads buy us, there's no way they could possibly, close down the LIE for, some rich dudes to drive through.
I mean,
I think it's going to happen.
And if you did close down roads, would it still be a rally?
Yeah, I think it'd still be a rally. For it to be safe, you'd have to close down, from beginning to end.
And right now, people are still trying to figure out what this means for Gumball 2008.
I think they should at least take a year break. Do as much as they can for that family. 2009, see what they could do about launching something else. But I think that's the end of the rallies for a while, and I think it should be.
And another common theme right now on the internet is that no mention of the woman who was a passenger in the VW Golf. There's no one's really sending their thoughts and prayers out there. So we just like to do that from FastLaneDaily. And that wraps up the show, and see you next week when we can get back to covering car news.